Hey everyone, welcome to the RV Living Show. Hey, this week we're going to be sharing the importance of building your RV travel bucket list.
Yeah, so we are Brian and Luann Street, if you haven't met us before. We're Where the Streets Wander on our blog, and we have an RV lifestyle website that provides inspiration and education and encouragement for the RV lifestyle. So we are going today to talk about building an RV bucket list, right, Brian?
Yeah, very important. This is something that we do on a regular basis, and we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Okay. So we really think that an RV bucket list is an important part of your RV life. If you love to travel and you want to make sure that you're going to be able to go everywhere that you want to go, then you need to have a list of things that you want to do, right?
That's right.
But we found too, as full-timers, that you can kind of lose that initial
Drive,
excitement,
yeah,
over your first bucket list. Like our first bucket list had so many cool things on it. I mean, it could have, I think ours was Mackinac Island, Prince Edward Island. There's an island theme. Yes, that's me.
It is.
Alaska. Now that one's still on our bucket list. We haven't experienced that yet. There are just different things that coming into this life of RV living, whether it's full-time or part-time, there are many things that you want to experience. So
yes, I mean, even I find that when we go back and we spend some time, writing down some new things and doing some research, it kind of like refuels that dream to get out there and get going.
So we're going to talk about why should you build a travel bucket list. So this could go for anything. I mean, it doesn't just have to be RVing. It just happens to be that we RV. So why should you? I mean, I think it keeps your dream alive. So let's talk a little bit about how we lost our dream a little bit.
Well, I think it's earlier this year. I mean, I think a lot of people have experienced the same thing with this COVID thing going around. That we were kind of forced to be put in one place, and all these plans we had, we'd had all these plans in place. We seemed to just lose the drive on doing them. I mean, it just kind of like we felt like it kind of like just pulled us down a notch.
Yeah, like all the things that we worked so hard, the whole planner filled with the things for the year just got waylaid, and we were stuck, which a lot of times we don't mind staying longer because we actually prefer to stay longer, but it was a different feeling of just being stuck and where are we going to go now, all the unknowns. And so we realized that our bucket list needed a refresher. And so that's why we wanted to talk to this about you today, because it's really important to keep those things alive in your head and on paper so that you can access them when you're ready to travel again.
Right.
So another thing is, if you are a full-timer, you can get stuck in a rut, even without COVID. Even without COVID, you can get stuck. You may get tired of traveling from place to place. You may need to take a little sabbatical from traveling very often so that you can kind of feel at rest or at peace. But you still need to have your next destination in mind, or the thing that you may want to do someday. For us, that's an Alaska trip. That's not going to be this year. It may not even be next year, but it's on our list. And so that whole bucket list idea is to just keep those ideas in front of you.
Yeah, the thing about the bucket list is you can fit your travel lifestyle. I mean, that's the idea of having the list. You're not going to forget them. So if you don't want to go do something a certain year, you've always got more choices. That's what we find, that a lot of times we will, in the middle of the year, we'll change our course and go a different direction.
Mm-hmm. So also your bucket list doesn't have to have just like certain places to go, like the Grand Canyon. It could be different things. Like, I know Brian.
Well, yeah. I mean, like for us, we love to ride the rail to trail bikes, the bike paths. And for us, that's one thing I look for when I'm planning out a route, is that if I can get us close to a place where we can ride our bikes, we really enjoy that. That's just, maybe it's not like a national park, but to us, it's just as much fun.
It is, and it's grown. So going from just riding 10 or even 20 miles on a bike trail has now grown into on our bucket list. We have these longer trails that we can actually do bike overnights, where we may be able to stay at an Airbnb. We're not campers, okay? I'm a glamper. So just know that, you know, your dream or your goal and your bucket list can grow with these things as you start doing more and more things. And I think the key is to have them on your list so that you don't lose sight of them.
Well, you just mentioned, you know, creating a list, you will discover new things.
Yeah, it fuels. It really does. It fuels your travel, and that's really a cool thing about a bucket list.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to build your bucket list. We actually have part of our travel planner. Oh, you guys are getting a sneak peek at our new cover. So if you're watching this and you're a travel planner fan, this is our new cover for 2021. But inside our travel planner, we have places in the front where you can just list out your bucket list destinations. Well, if I can find it. I wasn't prepared for this part. In a big list. You know, you can just write them down. And when you're first getting started, that's what we recommend. Brainstorm, write down everything, where you want to go, what you want to experience, or even if you have theme travel in mind, like all the, everyone talks about national parks. You know, you want to do all the national parks, put those on your bucket list. If you want to do
balloon festivals.
Oh yeah, balloon festivals. That's something that we have recently really got a passion for. I'm like, well, we should maybe spend some time figuring out where all the balloon festivals are and maybe travel with those in mind instead of the other things that are on our list. Go from balloon festival to balloon festival and just experience those things. It may be historic sites for you. It could be like Civil War battlefields or all those kinds of things. So don't limit your bucket list to just the name of a city or a name of a national park. Kind of dig deep and figure out some of the smaller things that can also be there, and you can grow your list bigger and bigger. So, but the part of our planner that we really like, and just know, if you don't have a planner or you don't like this kind of planning, you can actually use an app on your phone to record your bucket list, or you can just take a notebook. The important thing is don't stop writing them down.
Yeah.
Always be in the mode of building your list so that you have something to do when you want to make a plan. But in the back of our planner, we have some space by state so that you can actually sit around the campfire at your next camping excursion, and the people who are talking about where they've been, what they've done. How do we use that part?
Well, I mean, before we used to just try to write it out on a little piece of paper, you know, try to remember in our head, you know, what did they say? Where's that place they went? You know, and normally we'd forget it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I even used my app on my phone and I would write it down, but I didn't know where that was. So for me, having to build that list by state was a really cool way of making sure when we got to that state and we traveled to that state that you could look at your list and go, oh, we could do this. We're here, you know,
right. And
maybe a section of that state was your ultimate destination, but then you've got the rest of the things on the list that you can actually do when you're there.
Yeah. Campers, sometimes people who's been traveling, they come up with some of the best ideas.
They do. And so keep your notebook handy, keep your planner handy, keep your app handy, whatever you're going to use to record these things, and make sure that you put them all in one place so that you can access them when you're ready to use them.
Sure.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is, when do you use your bucket list? So first you could use it when you're first starting out. Let's say you've never RV'd before and you're creating it for the first time. So you want to get those things down so you can even just start planning your travel. And then the next thing is that maybe you should use your bucket list to expand on, like we talked a minute ago, expand on the places that you're already going. Include those smaller things.
Yeah, we find a lot of times when we go somewhere, having some daily excursions is actually more fun than anything to us, because we love checking out, maybe some little cities and little rivers and towns. We find that just having a list to go by, it gets us out there. Then we actually find more things to do.
Yes, it fuels, again, it fuels your travel. So we call those things the hidden gems, right? The things that you dig out and that not everybody knows about. It's not Walt Disney World, the destination, or Six Flags. It's the little tiny hiking trail that once you get there, everyone is talking about it, but it wasn't something on your list before. So be sure to put those things down. And if you can't do them on this trip, try to do them when you come back, because if you're a full-timer or a traveler, RVer that travels a lot, you can always revisit your destinations. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's right. Yeah, we find also that having a list, or before we made a list, I'll back up just a moment. I remember we went places and we've left and then find out about something to do later.
Oh, I remember this time, guys.
You remember that?
This was, and it was a small thing. Okay, so I had seen that the Peabody Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee has the ducks that they walk across, put them in the elevator and put them up in their coops on the roof. But they have this march every night when they put the ducks to bed. And it's like this big deal. And I had seen this thing on TV and I had it in my head. Oh, I'd love to do that someday. Well, that's the problem. It was in my head. So we get to Memphis and we go to a recommended restaurant that was highly recommended by some friends of ours. And so we went there and we ate and it was fabulous. If you want to know what it is, then, message us. We'll tell you what it is. And so we come out and we're in this alleyway and I look and there's the Peabody Hotel. And I looked at Brian and he like thought I'd lost my mind. I'm like, the ducks. So I'm like, we gotta go see the ducks. Well, we got in there and they had just taken them upstairs. If I had had it on my list, and number two, looked at my list, we could have planned our dinner to be a half hour earlier, half hour later, whatever, to accommodate being able to go see these ducks, because I would have had that ability to do that, because I would have known that that was something that I wanted to do.
Just the little things make your trip so much better.
That's right. That's right. So those are all the ways to, use your bucket list once you have it done. Always refer back to it. Use it often. Don't just do it once and never look at it again. But it's kind of a living, breathing thing that you can add to and make it your own. So that's it. So we just want to encourage you to start your bucket list, build your bucket list, and then use your bucket list. So that is really important. If you want more information about our travel planner, you can go to rvtravelplanner.com. We'll post that in the thing. If you have ideas on travel that you want to share with us, we're always looking for different things to go and do, or even
more things to add to our list.
More things to add to our list. So you can join our Facebook group at Stop Wandering and Start RVing and get in there, and we can share all sorts of destination ideas and restaurants and travel ideas. And that's what we want that Facebook group to be. So. All right. Well, that's all for this week. We really have enjoyed coming live every week on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock for you. We're going to continue to do this. And if you want to subscribe and get notified of all the things that we do, all things RVing, you can subscribe to our newsletter list that goes out every Wednesday morning before this is in the afternoon every week. So you can do that in the link above or below this video, depending on where you're watching it on YouTube. And please subscribe or like so that you can be notified of anything that's upcoming.
That's right.
So I think that's all.
That's it.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place.
Take care.
Bye.